Hello. Hi. Good afternoon. Let's see the people we have here today. We have 16 people this morning. Elena, Agnieszka, Monica, Renata. Hi. Hello. Good afternoon. Yes, very nice. So, okay, I see new people today in the webinar, as always. So I want to greet everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Marian. Yes, Ivana. Hi. And I can see there are new people today. So I hope that you will like my presentation today about other forms of infinitives. Yeah. I'm from the Philippines and I am here in Tutlo for quite a few years now. And I'm teaching on the platform in the morning and in the evening. Yes. Okay. Today we're going to talk about other forms of infinitive. This is let me say I will try my best to explain this to you as easy as possible so that you will know about the other forms of infinitives. Okay. Bear with me. I just need to turn on the AC. Okay, nice. So let's see. Ivana, yes. Sarisa, Alicia, as always. Peter, hello. Yep, nice, cool. I'm going to need your help later on because we're going to do a little bit of exercise and I hope that you will like it. Okay, let's start now. Other forms of infinitives. Maybe you have heard of infinitives a lot of times already, isn't it? I hope that you heard of the word already. Infinitive is actually a verb. Yeah. This is the base form of the verb. Infinitive. So in English, when we talk about the infinitives, we are usually referring to the present infinitive, the present tense. You know, like the dance, sing, uh, paint, write. Those are infinitives. They are the base form, which is the most common, I can say, the present infinitive. Therefore, there are, however, four other forms of infinitives. We just don't know about it. Many of us are not aware of it, but there are other forms of infinitive. That is what we call um, the perfect infinitives, the perfect continuous infinitive, the continuous infinitive, and the passive infinitives. Yes, those are the different other forms of infinitive because most of the time we just know the base form of the verb with two. Yeah, infinitive versus gerund, if you know it. Yes. Now, I would like to tell you, since we talk about infinitives and gerund, yes, Alicia, okay, as with the present infinitive, the base form, there are situations where to is omitted. Yeah, after most modal auxiliaries. So the to infinitive is like to plus the base form of the word. For example, to dance, to sing, to write, to paint. Those are infinitives with to. But when we say just infinitives, normally it's in the present form, and that is just the base form. Dance, sing, paint, and write. That is what we call zero infinitives. Okay? We're good? That is what we call zero infinitives. Okay, nice. Let's move on. Now, I would like to tell you, as you can see here, since we talk about other forms of infinitive, like simple infinitive, continuous infinitive, perfect infinitive, and perfect continuous infinitive, we are going to talk about that today. Right? Let's start, shall we? So as you can see, these are some examples of the infinitives that I am telling you about. Okay, over here. Yep. The in active voice and in passive voice. Yes. right? Let's move on. Let's start talking with simple infinitive, okay? So as you can see here with simple infinitive, it refers to the same time as that of the preceding verb. For example, to have plus past participle, yeah? When we say simple infinitive, as you can see over here, we have to have plus past participle. Like an example over there is, I was glad to see, right? Sorry. Apologies. When we say simple infinitive, it is just as the same as that of the preceding verb, but sorry about this is a typographical error, but not this one. We don't have to have plus past participle. Sorry, we're talking about a simple form, the present form. Apologies, typographical error on my part when I am making the slides. Example is that I was glad to see her. He must be very happy. I'll arrange a meeting with the manager. My son's football coach is said to be very strict. So if you notice the verb we have here, see, be, it's a verb to be, arrange, and another verb to be. So you can see here, like we talked about earlier, when we say the present form of infinitive, simple present form, sometimes there is two, sometimes none, right? As you can see, that's what we call, remember, the zero infinitive and the two infinitive. Okay, we're good. Let's move on to another form of infinitives, and that is what we call perfect infinitive. Okay, what I want to tell you about perfect infinitive, it is most commonly found in the type 3 conditional sentence, or namely third conditional. Yes, that is right. Okay. The type 3 conditional sentence as part of the conditional perfect, although it can be used in other places as well. The perfect infinitive is formed as to have plus past participle. Okay. So as you can see here with the present infinitive, there are situations where the zero form of the perfect infinitive is required. So the word to is omitted. This happens after most modal auxiliaries and in other places where zero infinitives are used. So the perfect infinitives refers to a time before that of the preceding verb. Look at this. For example, he pretended, yep, to have seen the film. Yes, before I turn 40, I want to have written a book. I would like to have been to the Taj Mahal when I was in India. Yes, okay. Next, as you can see here, if I had known you were coming, I would have baked a cake. Yes, someone must have broken the window and climbed in. So as you can see, even though we are talking about third conditional, like for example, if I had known you were coming, I would have baked a cake. Even if we say that perfect infinitive is most commonly found in third conditional, not all the time. We can also find them in some other sentences, just like what we have here in the example. He pretended to have seen the film. Yeah, this is perfect infinitive. So you have the word to and have plus the past participle of the verb. Like for example, someone must have broken the window and climbed in, and that is the one that I am explaining earlier. That not all the time. Okay, when you have auxiliary verb, you have a modal verb. So if you take a look at this, the one that I would like to share you, someone must have broken the window. Must and may, if you remember, they are modal verbs. helping verb, isn't it? Auxiliary verb, that's what we call it. So in these cases, we omit the word to. We don't need it. You got me? The formation, not all the time you have the word to, because we have this zero infinitive, what we call, provided that they are preceded by a modal verb. We're good? Yes? Let's try again, shall we? Okay. Over here, as you can see, the perfect continuous infinitives. So as with the present infinitive, there are situations, like I've mentioned, that we need to use zero form of infinitive when they are followed by, when they are preceded by a modal auxiliary. Yeah. Now, with the perfect continuous infinitives, it refers to a time before that of the preceding verb and expresses an action in progress. Remember, it is perfect continuous. So that is why it expresses an action in progress or happening over a period of time. Or let me say, express a continuing but now completed action. Yes? Example, as you can see, to have, the formation is to have been plus present participle. Yes? To have been plus present participle. The woman seemed to have been crying. Yes? Actually, with infinitives, if you are already familiar with the tenses, the basic tenses of the verb, with infinitives, it's either you have to or not. That's just it. The woman seemed to have been crying. He pretended to have been painting all day. I would have preferred to have been sleeping all afternoon. Or without to, because you have a modal verb like must, might, and should. That's why we don't use to in here. Zero infinitive. You got me? But the form of the verb, as you can see, is with ing form because we're talking about perfect continuous. That's why you need to have been and a present participle. Yes? Okay? Good? Next, let's try again. I hope that you can keep up. The next other form of infinitive that I want to share with you is what we call continuous infinitive. Yeah? The continuous infinitive refers to the same time that of the preceding verb and expresses an action in progress or happening over a period of time. Continuous, if you are familiar with present continuous, it's just like that. Yes? Okay. Or expresses a continuing action after a verb. That's just what we wanted to say in short. To be, the formation is to be and then present participle. I'd really like to be swimming, as you can see, in a nice cool pool right now. You see? The most important thing here is the formation, right, of the verb. So here, since we're talking about continuous, you just need to have the ing form. Unlike with the perfect continuous, you have been. Yes? Okay? And then still, we are going to follow the rule that if it is with a modal verb, it must be zero infinitive. You don't need the word to. But still, we are going to follow the verb to be and the present participle of the verb. Very good? Yes? Okay. Now, I want to share with you as well, this is other forms of infinitives when we say passive infinitive. So with passive infinitive, some constructions using the passive voice, it is particularly common after the modal verb to indicate what is possible or what is correct. Example, as you can see here, I am expecting to be given a pay rise next month. She is hoping to be elected president. The carpet needs to be washed. These doors should be shut at night. These windows may be opened, but that one must stay closed. Okay. Alice could be given a prize for her work. So as you can see here, we can use modal verbs, but the modal verbs can be actually at the end. After the passive voice, it is particularly common after the modal verb. So as you see, we have a modal verb here: should, may, and could, to indicate what is possible or what is correct. These doors should be shut at night. You see, it is indicating what is possible or maybe what is correct. This window may be opened, but that one must stay closed. Alice could be given a prize for her artwork. You see the difference between the sentences? In passive infinitive, we are indicating here what is possible or what is correct. You got me? And also, there are other forms of infinitives as well, but these are not, let's say, the most common. Yes? For example, passive simple infinitive, like your composition has to be typed, or passive continuous infinitive, which is rarely used, as you can see. And we also have here passive perfect infinitives, and we also have passive perfect continuous infinitive. You see, if you noticed earlier in the first, maybe third slide that I showed you, there are forms of infinitives normally in active voices. So this is just telling you that we can also form a passive infinitive sentence. We're good? I hope that you are, I hope that you're able to understand it. Anyway, okay. The most important thing is let's try the activities today and see what are your takeaways in my explanation about other forms of infinitives. Shall we? For example, I'm glad blank in Barcelona for the last 10 years. What do you think? It refers to a time before the preceding verb. It expresses an action in progress, or in happening before. What do you think? I'm glad blank in Barcelona for the last 10 years. What do you think is the answer here? Anyone? Yes. Renata, Ivana, Alicia, Monica, Elena, Peter, Agnieszka, can we try it? I understand that maybe most of the explanations today are a little bit tricky. Yes, for the other forms of infinitive, but I do hope that you were able to get a lot. Now, can we try to answer this? Just give it a try and we will see. Because most of the time, doing the practical is way better than hearing all those, explanation, isn't it? Okay, let's see here. To have been living. Thank you, Ivana, for the answer. How about the others? Do you have other answer? For the last 10 years. Yes, okay. Well, to be honest with you, here we have two possible answers. We have two possible answers in here. We can refer to a time before of the preceding verb, and then we can refer to a time that expresses an action in progress. Yep, thank you, Agnieszka. Thank you, Renata. So in this case, I'm glad to have been living in Barcelona for the last 10 years. Okay, not this one, sorry. Not this one. Okay, we have to have been living in Barcelona for the last 10 years. Very good. Correct answer. Next. Lucy was assumed blank the day before. Lucy was assumed blank the day before. What do you think? So take a look at the main verb. Take a look at the main verb. The main verb in the sentence is was assumed. So what infinitives we are looking for in here? Yeah, it refers to a time before that of the preceding verb. Lucy was assumed blank the day before. What do you think? Yes, anyone? Let's see here. Okay, Renata. Oh, we have 19 people now. Really nice. Ivana, Alicia, Monica. Yep, let's see. To have been leaving. Thank you, Elena. Yes, Renata, Ivana. Let's see. So here, actually, we're talking about different forms of infinitives, if you remember. Yes. Here, to have been leaving the day before. Lucy was assumed to have been leaving a day before. Okay, one more time. What if I say, he must blank for ages? Yes, thank you, Agnieszka. That is correct. It's okay, Monica, Ivana, Renata, no worries. He must blank for ages. So as you can see here, with the word must, because we have an auxiliary verb in the sentence, as you can see, there are two possible answers, yeah, in this sentence. The other one expresses an action in progress, okay? The other one expresses an action over a period of time. Let's see. Yeah, thank you, Monica. Yes, Ivana. He must blank for ages. Two possible answers. Thank you. So, he must have been waiting for ages. He must have waited for ages. Those are two possible answers. One more time. What if I say, yes, thank you, Elena, Agnieszka, Renata, Ivana, very good. This time, next week, I'll blank on the beach in Croatia. Think of this. This is like in the future. Yeah. This is like third conditional. Yeah. This time next week, I'll blank on the beach in Croatia. What do you think? Anyone? Yes, you're thinking about the future. Around this time next week. Yep, thank you, Monica. Yes, Ivana. Yes, Renata. Very good. I'll be lying on the beach next week. It's okay, Agnieszka. Thank you, Ivana. That is correct. See? Right? Yes, Elena. It's not that really complicated, isn't it? Sometimes it's the explanation that makes it more complicated. Let's try this one. My son's football coach is said blank very strict. This is the present infinitive. Just the simple. Present simple infinitive. What do you think? My son's football coach is said blank very strict. This is easy. Yes, thank you, Alicia, for that. Yeah? Yep, thank you, Monica. That's really quite fast of you. I notice in every webinar. Yes, Elena, Renata, very good. Correct. Yes, my son's football coach is said to be very strict. Very good. Correct. See? Told you. It's not that really complicated after all, isn't it? Okay, anyway, but that's how really learning grammar is. The more you put yourself into grammar rules, the more it's becoming crazy to understand. Yeah, so just take it slow, relax, and it's going to be fine. Now, I wanted to tell you, this is the end of my webinar today. Yes, however, I wanted to say that even though it's Monday, act like it's Saturday. Later today, I have another webinar at 4 p.m. Collocations with off. Okay, I hope to see similar names again later with collocations with off, and I hope that you are able to get takeaway. You have some takeaway for today with other forms of infinitives. Thank you for your patience and cooperation with me here in our topic today. And not just only that, please also participate in similar events with other hosts here in the webinar. Moy Pei, Thomas Shore, Thomas Podstavsky, and Theodore. Yes, thank you so much. And I will see you again later, 4 p.m. Collocations with off. That is easier. That is easier. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Goodbye.